So I started reading the book that they gave me, and it didn't take very long to find the word sovereign. It's in the first 9 pages that they actually gave me. I am so surprised the Ortho-Thugs don't understand that the definition of sovereign comes with rules and regulations. It's the opposite of anarchy. America is a sovereign nation, and it has rules. The king is a sovereign, and he has rules. And the Pope is a sovereign, and he has rules. Nowhere in sovereignty is the idea of lawlessness. But like I said, in his own book, they're going to admit that they're sovereign archangels. And so then I typed in the word and see how many more times we use it. One there. Apparently it should be over here somewhere. So there are at least sovereign archangels, and that doesn't imply that they're against God. There we go. I guess darkness, I might have to read this a little bit more carefully, but from what I'm reading here, so it's saying that the deep is not sovereign in and of its own, and that even darkness isn't sovereign. From my understanding. So let's go down here. Well, it has the word zodiac in it. There's a reference to the zodiac. Where's the word sovereign? Oh wow, got me. There it is. There it is, page 94. Good thing I kept reading. Okay, well there's the crux of your arguments from the Orthodox perspective, and I guess this is from the Catholic perspective too. This is a great find. Let's see what we got. If their wickedness is from nature, the Creator will be the author of evil. But if they are evil by their own choice, first they will be creatures endowed with the will and possessed of free and sovereign desires. Hmm. It's under Article 7 here. I had to reread that. The so-called planets being in perpetual motion, since some overtake others more quickly, while others describe their circuit more slowly, both see and are hidden from each other many times in the same hour, and it is of the greatest importance in births. Not only does he mention the zodiac, he's also saying that the line of the planet is important to births. And so when he says that they're not free and sovereign, I'm not sure. I'll keep reading. But he might be talking about the planets. Right. Okay, so he's saying that. Oh, see, it does prove my point. He's saying that it would be ridiculous to say that the planets are outside of God's plan. Because you cannot, because creatures endowed with will and that desire to be sovereign and free cannot be attributed to inanimate objects. And it's senseless to describe good and evil because they do not have this ability. So no, I'm right upon further reading. No, it's clear in his works. It's clear in his works. And he's even saying that it's important in births, depending on your star sign. Because God willed it to be then. And the stars are associated with time, is from what I'm getting out of this. Or there is some connection to the zodiac. We would have to discuss Article 7 here for sure. But this is definitely saying to be considered a man, to have free will, that sovereignty is a desire, and that the planets and stars can't be evil. Because they don't possess this ability. Meaning that the root of being a man is possession of being free and sovereign, or at least the desire thereof. So in their own literature that the Ortho-Thugs are giving out, the sovereignty's right here. If you don't read carefully, you might think they're talking about evil creatures, like I did just because I was skimming, but luckily, I'm accustomed to getting the greater context. But the only reason why I started making this video is because it didn't take long to find the word sovereign in the use of God. For behold, the sovereign, the Lord of all hosts, shall take away from Jerusalem. Yeah, Christ himself considers himself sovereign. But that might make sense to you. That makes sense. But then why wouldn't you try to be Christ-like here on earth to the best of your ability if the option is there? Well, let's go back up here. See where it says it here. Here's the sovereign archangels. Why would St. Basil? Basil. Why would St. Basil, and it's so interesting because I talked about that in my first studies. But why would St. Basil, why would he say this about archangels if sovereignty wasn't desired or in God's order? That's the wicked forces one about the planets. Oh, why does it do that? Why would he talk about the archangels? Or sovereign archangels? So not only is Christ considered sovereign, but archangels are considered sovereign. Here's one more. Again, he's saying again that the deep isn't sovereign and it isn't with God. Again. So in the own literature that they gave me, it literally took me less than an hour from reading from the beginning to find the word sovereign. And then searching the word sovereign, it's used 4 times. And each time it makes a pretty clear-cut case that the desire of sovereignty and sovereignty itself belongs to God. So there's absolutely no reason for the Ortho-Thugs to resist this in their own literature. So I just wanted to go through real quickly the Leo Frick missile. And this is the missile that was used before and after the split, before the schism. And I just wanted to quickly show through it a little bit. This is the introduction that teaches you the history of it and where it was found and how it's connected to Leo Frick of Mercia and Lady Godiva. It's going to talk about the handwritten notes, and it's going to talk about the Red Book of Derby. It's going to tell you how they did the masses. It's going to tell you the liturgical calendar, why they put everything in the order they did. It's going to explain their church year, which only had 360 days. It's going to explain a whole bunch of things in here. Oh yeah, that's a good part. This is the part that mentions the Leo Frick that I was talking about, who owned it. This is my favorite paragraph. And where to find all the sources. And then this is the beginning of the Leo Frick missile. So it looks just like your Latin missile would. Because that's what it is. It has the dates and everything in it. Eventually it's going to have some pretty cool drawings in it. This is the calendar. This is the dates. Oh, one thing we can notice here is that the way they drew the number 4. Where is it? So that's 6. I think, yeah, look, they have 4 and 3 dots. Or 4 dots, 4 eyes. 4 to them was this. You're not going to find an IV. The way they did 4 was 4 different ones and then the V. They never put one behind it. That's just a manipulation. And you'll see that on a lot of old documents that it has the 4 eyes. That's number 4. in Roman numerals. You'll see it again here, 4. You won't ever find an I before the V, because that's not how they wrote force. There it is again, 432, 432. And then right here is the calendar. And this is going to show you which homily you're supposed to read. Oh, interesting enough, just like this other saint was talking about the zodiacs, they have it here too in this grid. They talk about it in this missal. And then here's the cool artwork that we're going to end on. So we're going to end this right here. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus alibus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.